Yo, what's good YouTube? It is your host HD Samurai here, and welcome to the channel. Today I'm here to bring you guys part 10 to What If Asta was Fujitora's reincarnation. Now guys, thank y'all so much for tuning into this What If, as I know it's been a while for me since I last uploaded a video, and I would like to thank y'all very much for your consideration and actually waiting for me to post a video. I really appreciate it a lot, guys. But yeah, guys, I don't want to waste any more time, as I already know it's been quite a long time, and I know a few of you actually would like to, watch this What If, and not sit here and listening to me blabber on about my apology and all that stuff. So let's go ahead and get started with this What If. Again, thank y'all so much for your support, and thank y'all so much for your patience. But either way, here it is. Let's get started.
You're never gonna make it, you're not good enough. There's a million other people with the same stuff. You really think you're different? Man, you must be kidding. Think you're gonna hit it, but you just don't get it. It's impossible, it's not probable, you're irresponsible. Too many obstacles, you gotta stop it, yo. You gotta take it slow, you can't be a pro. Don't waste your time no more. Who the fuck are you to tell me what to do?
Alright guys, let's begin this What If. Hopefully you guys do enjoy, and either way, let's begin. So to kick off this What If, we start off with Asta and Leona, as well as Zoro, who had recently joined the Black Bulls, as currently right now they were attacking the base of the Midnight Sun. However, as they were rampaging about the base, causing mass destruction along with the rest of the Magic Knight squads, this is when Asta would then sense it. Using his observation hockey, he was able to sense that someone else was approaching and someone who was dangerously powerful. And just as he thought this is when suddenly multiple light swords would then swarm from above just as they entered an unknown room. However, Asta would then suddenly end up obliterating it all with a simple slash, as this is when he, as well as the rest of them, would then look up to see none other than Raya, who is now newly reborn and is right now really excited, until this is when he then sees Asta. Now, of course, if you guys don't know this, which I don't really expect you, but ever since what happened to Raya, Vetto, and pretty much everyone else, they kind of have this type of trauma when it comes to encountering Asta. After all, the man was vicious when he truly wants to be. And the crazy thing is, by looking at him, you wouldn't really expect it at first, but it's like as soon as you get into a fight with him, you realize just how ruthless this man can be. So yes, Raya ends up getting a little bit of PTSD after seeing Asta, to which Asta ends up smirking. "So you're not dead, are you?" Asta would say. Now at this, Asta prepares to take a step forward, until this one suddenly he has to dodge a flaming fist from none other than Leona. "Stay out of this, rookie. He's strong. This is my fight," she would say. At this, Asta would look at her, as he was about to actually scold her for her, childishness, but Leona doesn't listen to him and just rushes off fighting. My gosh. She reminds me so much of those old rookies that we had back in the Marines, Asta would say, as he shook his head at the pure childishness of Leona. So with that, Leona would then fight against the newborn Raya, who himself was actually much rather happy to face off against Leona than facing off against Asta. "We just need to stop for time until the plan initiates. I bet I can handle this woman with ease," Raya would say. As of course he throws a casual flare at Leona, who ends up doing nothing more but scoffing and just smiling like a feral animal, attacking him from all over, causing Raya to actually be surprised by her strength. Okay, this is going to be a little bit more difficult than I expected. Back at the Clover Kingdom, we would see a different scene happening, as we see Julius facing off against Licht. Now, the only reason for Julius to lose in this fight, similar to Canon, would be, once again, Licht tries pulling a dumb move by attacking the entire Clover Kingdom. And knowing that Julius is the Wizard King, he would do anything he can to protect his kingdom, and that left to him to have an opening, to which Licht took the opportunity to end up cutting him. Now, unfortunately, Yami had arrived way too late, as similar to Canon, he will be there to see the damage that Licht had done, and he'll be thoroughly pissed off. "What did you do?" Yami would say. Licht would look at Yami, and he could already tell that he did not stand a chance right now. Now, like I said, in this timeline, Yami is way stronger than he was in Canon at this point, so due to this, Licht already can tell that he does not stand a chance against him, at least not now, and especially since he wasted so much energy fighting Julius. So with that, Licht prepares to escape, but before he does, Yami will end up cutting off one of his arms right before he gets away. Now this of course stung Licht a lot, but he already done what he needed to, as he rushes off and curses Yami, telling him that he will one day end up paying for it, with Yami himself looking at this with a pissed off expression before rushing towards the Wizard King. But unfortunately, similar to Canon, Julius would of course fake his death, as Yami would just be there pissed off and honestly very upset that he failed. Now, this is where suddenly we will now move towards the Black Bulls base. The Black Bulls who decide to stay home, this being Vanessa, Ghosh, Gray, and Gordon, they were all casually there, relaxing, as right now they didn't really have much to do, since they know that the rest of their, more battle hungry of their group is currently right now fighting the Midnight Sun base, and Yami's currently right now out there doing business. They decide to relax. However, this is when suddenly, as they do, multiple groups of Midnight Sun's members would then appear. Now you see, the reason for this is actually because of the fact that you know how the magic stones in this timeline are spread about, and the Black Bulls are actually holding one of them. That's actually the main reason. However, this is where a change wouldn't happen. Instead of Rades and Valtos, as well as should I forget? I always forget the name of the girl, the one who always wants to do experiments on Astas. I keep forgetting her name. I was gonna say Vanessa, but I know that's not her name, so I really just I don't remember it. But anyway, instead of all three of them being there to attack the Black Bulls, it would actually just be a bunch of random grunts, and the one leading the charge will be none other than Vetto, who also is reborn. At this, Vetto will be looking at the Black Bulls base as he smirks. I didn't even get the opportunity to face off against him last time, but now that he isn't here, we have a firm shot at this, Vetto would say. Now you see, this was actually part of a plan that they set it up. Right before Asta had arrived, they already, after like the revival of both Raya as well as Vetto, they realized that they really need to plan out for this guy. They can't just rush in there blindly and think that they can take him on, as they already saw what happened to them whenever they tried facing off against him. So due to this, Vetto as well as Raya, as well as Licht, and pretty much everyone else who got revived, had all made a plan in order to take down Asta. The main plan was to draw Asta's attention away, that being that they knew Asta was going to charge in the base along with them. However, while Asta was away, that meant that they had a firm shot to get the magic stone, the last one that they need. And of course, obviously the one to do it would be, well, Vetto, considering the fact that out of all the members of the Midnight Sun, Vetto's got to be the most battle-hungry one, so of course he'll be the one sent out there to take care of the Black Bulls. So as Vetto would be there looking at all the grunts as they all wait for him in his command, this is when Vetto would then suddenly slam a generous beast claw into the dome of the Black Bull's base. Or at least that's what he intended to do. Unfortunately for him though, right before he did, this is when a ginormous like poison fog would then appear as it kind of redirects his attack to the ground, actually surprising him. What? At this is when suddenly he wouldn't look above, and to his surprise, he will see Gordon, Gray, Ghosh, as well as Vanessa, as each one of them were floating down, with Gray as well as Gordon currently right now floating down on Gordon's poison cloud. Sorry, I'm getting like scatterbrain here. Either way, moving on. So of course, seeing this, Vetto would then smirk. Filthy humans. Listen up, I already understand you guys got the stone, so how about this? You give it to me, and I'll only beat you to death in an instant. Now, sit here and beat you off pointlessly to the point where you're just being tortured, Vetto would say, as he would have a sadistic smile on his face. However, the Black Bulls would not fall at all. Instead, they'd look at each other, and they would just laugh at Vetto's face. Are you kidding me? I mean, don't get me wrong, your magical power is quite impressive, but, I mean, shoot, compared to Asta, you can't do any worse, they will all say. At this, hearing just the mere mention of Asta would set Vetto off, as he looks at each one of them, and this is when he then realizes it. They're magic, he would say. Although it was only for a glimpse second, he saw it. The tremendous amount of power these individuals have. Shit. I didn't expect this. Are they Magic Knight captains? No. No, we would have heard about them. Who are these individuals? He would say. Now, they didn't have much in... Now, let me explain this to y'all. The Midnight Sun, they didn't have much information on all the Black Bulls. The one that they only knew to be worried about was Asta, because he's the one who was slaughtering them most of the time. No, all the time, actually. But here's the thing, though. Besides Julius, as well as the Magic Knight captains, they don't know about the other squads as well as their potential. They just think of them as low-tier grunts. So they had no idea that approaching the Black Bulls, they had to exceedingly surpass other levels, to the point where some of them, heck, if not all of them, could actually eventually surpass a Magic Knight captain. Now, as Vetto will be looking at all of them, this is when he then smirks. Well then, it doesn't matter if they have superior magic, after all. It's their bodies where they're weakest, he would say. After all, they're mages. They can't actually be that physically strong, right? Right? Well, no. Vetto would charge in with a beast claw as he attacks, of course, Ghosh being the first one, since he was the nearest. But Ghosh would just look at this guy and scoff. I can't exactly die right now. After all, not only would he end up giving me a ginormous scolding, but I can't leave my precious Marie alone, Ghosh would say, as this one suddenly he ends up summoning out a ginormous mirror. And as soon as he approaches Ghosh, this is when Vetto would then realize it. It's him, he would say, as he remembers one of his comrades, as he realized that he hasn't been reincarnated yet. And seeing this, Vetto will feel guilty, as just when he was about to apologize to him, this is when suddenly he'll be hit by a ginormous light beam and gets him flying down. Vetto would scream out in pain as he legit feels his muscles being burnt, as the light beam was so powerful it was literally burning off his skin entirely. Eventually, Vetto was able to finally stop himself from the attack as he ends up getting up and glaring at Ghosh. Well, as much as I don't want to hit her an old friend, it looks like I'm going to have to snap you out of it real soon, Vetto would say. Now, hearing this, Ghosh would be, of course, confused about what he meant by this, but he shrugs, as this is when suddenly Vetto would then attack the next member of the Black Bulls, this being Gordon, thinking that he would have better chances against him. At this, Gordon seeing this when someone out a generous poison fog, to which, of course, seeing this, Vetto would just laugh. You think this measly a bit of poison is going to be able to do anything against me? Fool! He would shout, as this when suddenly he then throws a generous beast claw into Gordon, ripping him apart as he laughs in glee. However, this one suddenly he didn't realize something. He didn't hit Gordon. In fact, he didn't hit anything. What? At this, he would then see that inside the very fog itself of poison, he would see multiple different illusions as Gordon was beginning to appear in different locations. What? What is this? At this, Gordon would then be walking, but not only one, there'll be multiple of them, as they all begin to approach Vetto. At this, Vetto would then see all of them as he slaughters them all over and over again, but they just kept coming back. They would turn into poison and they would just come back as they would continue attacking him. Just, what the heck is this? He would shout, as this was something he would then begin to get piled on by all of them, as each and every single one of them would then suddenly end up sharpening the poison, as they would then stab into him over and over. What the heck is going on here? He would shout. Back in reality, we'll see right now Vetto as he will currently be stuck in the poison fog, with, of course, Gordon just looking at him with a sigh. Honestly, it was pretty dumb of him to attack me, especially since I had the power of my friends right here. Thank you, Asta, for showing me the ways, he would say. Now, you see, this was actually one of the new techniques I thought of for Gordon, so since his ability of poison is actually, like, I didn't really have much ideas exactly what to do with it, one of the most important things I actually thought of was, like, hey, maybe he could use it to make them see hallucinations. As we've seen it sometimes in anime where, like, they get poisoned pretty much and they begin to act, like, very weird, or, like, they see, like, their vision distort before they fall into unconsciousness. Yeah, I thought of it like that, so I'm like, okay, how about this? He's able to make it to where, hey, as soon as you breathe in his poisons, pretty much, he's able to make you see different types of illusions, as while you see these illusions, the poison would slowly but surely begin to kill you, pretty much. And also, here's another thing, though, is the fact that this technique does have a flaw, and that being the fact that you can escape out of the illusion if you end up getting out of the poison fog once you realize it. But the problem is, by that point is, even if you were to get out the fog and the illusion, like, and the whole hallucination stops, the poison would still be in you and it would be still breaking you down. So pretty much this technique is, I wouldn't call it an insta-kill, but it's definitely a technique that you're going to have problem with, unless you have an entire magic that just counters it, or ability to counter this ability. But yeah, I just wanted to explain a little bit of Gordon's new ability. You know, we're moving on. So as Vetto was, of course, feeling all this, he had enough of all of this, as he ends up screaming out, actually, like, slamming a generous wind blast, pretty much, just swinging his beast claw around, generating a generous amount of wind to blow away the poison fog. As he ends up looking around at Gordon with a pissed off expression, he would end up coughing up a lot of blood as he sees that he's been bleeding all out his entire body. Just what the heck is this? This wasn't in the report, Vetto would say as he looks around and getting pissed off, as this one suddenly he would then look at the rest of the underlings that were supposed to be with them. What are you cowards doing? Attack! Vetto would shout. Hearing this, the soldiers would then suddenly end up, realizing that they were not doing anything, to which they end up beginning to charge at the Black Bulls with a cry. However, unfortunately for them, things did not exactly plan out. At this, Gordon would just look at them, as this is when Vanessa as well as Gray just shake their head. I still can't believe that these guys actually thought they had a chance. Honestly, it's almost as if Asta is the only thing they care about here, she would say, once again causing Vetto to flinch, as this is when Gordon would once again summon out the generous poison fog, to which causes the soldiers to begin to hallucinate and begin to scream out in terror. All the while, of course, seeing the fact that his soldiers were falling down, Vetto would begin to scream at them that they were useless before turning to Gray. Seeing the fact that she was currently right now just, relaxing, not really doing anything, and seeing that her guard was down, and seeing the fact that the other ones were pretty much not caring at all, this is when Vetto would then smirk. I will take one of you down if it's the last thing I do, he would shout as he rushes over to Gray, thinking that he had a chance, at least with this one. But once again, he was foolishly, once again proven wrong. As just as he attacked Gray, this is when suddenly a small red cat would then appear out of nowhere and just tap Vetto's arm. And when it does, Vetto would then see that his Beast Claw had completely missed her right when it was supposed to go right through her. What? Vetto would say as he looks around, only to see Gray casually right there petting the red cat, and she looks at Vanessa thanking her for the help. Oh no, don't worry about it. Rouge would always protect us. You already know that. Of course, Vetto will be confused as he attacks them again and again, but each attack was missing, as this was thanks to Vanessa's magic. You're beginning to notice it, huh? They would then say, as this is when Vanessa would then look at Vetto, as each one of the Black Bulls would then turn to him with a cold look. Now, I'm not going to lie to you, I was able to draw this scene, it would look really cool, but think of each one of them currently having like this like shadow covering like the top half of their faces, with their eyes being the only thing that was showing. And like their eyes were pretty much glowing with this unknown aura just radiating off of each one of them. As each one of them would then stare down at Vetto, Vetto would then realize one thing. He was completely outclassed here. He couldn't beat them. No, this is impossible. There's no way, he said. As this is when Vanessa would then smirk to him. Well, it looks like you had your fun. It looks like you finally got it out of your system. And it looks like you finally realized how pathetically weak you are. Vetto would be there with a wide-eyed expression, as this is when Vanessa would then suddenly show him that she had a small string currently at the tip of her fingers. Well then, bye-bye, Vanessa would say, as she would then suddenly bring her finger down, and just like that, Vetto's head would then go flying. And just like that, Vetto's plan to get the magic stone failed. At that same instance, we will see back at the Midnight Sun's base, we will see Mereoleona still beating down on Raya, who realized at this point that he couldn't hold her off for much longer. Dang it, Vetto, where the heck are you? You're taking so much time, Raya would say, as he was right now like seriously getting beaten up here. No one was helping him. As this is when Mereoleona would then finally release her onslaught of attacks to the point where Raya was not able to handle it any further. As since in the main timeline he had reinforcements from the reincarnated elves, yeah, in this timeline he doesn't get that, so Raya would lose to Mereoleona, and he just couldn't do anything against her. So yeah, Raya goes down. Asta, who watched all the destruction, had to admit he was impressed by Mereoleona's strength, but still he was not exactly happy with her childishness. As Asta would sigh, this is when he then looks up as he wouldn't see something with his observation hockey before he smirks. I believe now is finally time for us to finish this. What do you say, Libe? At this, we will see Libe appear onto Asta's shoulder as he then smirks. I've been waiting for this. Mereoleona right now she was actually pretty exhausted with the fight against Raya. She will see Asta as he'll begin to get covered up in this like anti-magic energy, as she will look at him confused. Oi, brah, what the heck are you doing? She would shout. At this, Asta smirks as he ends up turning to her. Well, nothing. I don't see exactly how fair it is for you to be all reckless while I just stand there and do nothing. Hearing this, Mereoleona ends up looking at Asta as she ends up getting a tick mark but sighs, as right now she was really tired to really do anything. Whatever, brah. Just don't get yourself killed. At this, Asta would send her a cheeky smirk before he ends up finally entering his full-on transformation. As just as he does, he will end up using his gravity fruit, as he ends up releasing so much gravity from himself to the point where he was as light as a feather. Good. At this, also would slice off with multiple amount of slashes, as these slashes were so fast and so powerful to the point that they completely obliterated the almost the entire story all the way to the very top of the Midnight Sun's base, blasting an entire hole right through it. And with a simple flick from his wings, Asta will then be gone in an instant, almost like he was teleported, leaving Zora as well as Mereoleona there by themselves. Damn brat, he left me here to take care of the mess, he would say, as he looks at Mereoleona, who currently at this point, instead of fighting, was actually just casually resting. Why do I get left with the grunt work, he would say, as he begins to help out Mereoleona. Back at the very top of the Midnight Sun base, you would see Lictus. He was currently right now pacing, wondering where the heck were they? Where the heck was his comrades? Where's the magic stones? At this, he sent out Vetto thinking that he would 100% complete his task, but it was nowhere to be found. Where the heck was he? At this, as he wonders exactly what happened, this is when suddenly he then senses the attack approaching, seeing a ginormous hole just suddenly burst out of nowhere, As this one suddenly a streak of black energy would then suddenly shoot out from the miniature hole that appeared on the floor, revealing it to be Asta. You, what did you do? He would shout as he looks at Asta, instantly blaming him for what was happening here. The plan was supposed to go so perfectly, so thoroughly. They planned out so much, only for him to arrive. You never should have been a part of this. That grimoire should have never been yours. If you never existed, none of this would have happened. Everything would have gone exactly as it was, according to plan. But you ruined it all. You ruined it all by just simply existing. I hate you, human. Liquid says. He stares down at Asta as he would then scream at him once again that he hates him, summoning multiple light spirits as he shoots them out to try to pierce Asta. But in a simple flick of his sword, Asta would just obliterate them all in an instant. At this, Lick seeing this happen would not care at all as he would continue throwing more and more attacks, with Asta just being there to destroy them all. At this, after a while of doing this, Asta would just be reading the emotions that Lick was releasing, and he has to admit, he honestly felt bad for the boy. I mean, to get and generate like this much amount of hatred, and let me tell you right now, Fujitora has definitely seen things that, well, could bring a lot of people. For example, if you have not read, for those who have read One Piece, Celestial Dragons. Bro, Fujitora literally blinded himself after seeing how the world really was. However, there's also a few times where he actually regretted doing so, as he remembered that there was some goodness out there. As he remembered the time that he actually met Monkey D. Luffy, the man who became king of the pirates, and how he literally just seemed to have like this warm glow about him that actually made him want to see him. And not only that, but after he got reincarnated into this life, and after he experienced so many fun and good things, sure, there were cruel moments here and there, but at the end of it all, it did end up bringing a lot of good things at the end of it. And this caused Fujitora to realize that at the end of the day, you only have to accept that there's going to be good and bad, alright? There's a balance between the two of them at the end of the day. And of course, the same could be said for Lake, but the thing was, the boy was too far gone. His emotions were swirling up like crazy as he just kept muttering, going crazy, attacking Asta like an animal. So Asta could only do him one service, and that was to end him and to really bring him at peace. So at the side, Asta then tells Libe to exit out the form, to which Libe would do so, as Asta wouldn't dodge out of the way of the light spears. So with a simple, calm slash from his katana, as Libe would be screaming at Asta, this is when Asta would suddenly cut his head off completely. But instead of doing it in a very like gruesome fashion, it would be very peaceful in that very instance. So if you want an example, think of it as how Tanjiro in the world of Demon Slayer, as you know, that one spider demon who pretty much was like, scared of the younger one, the one that Tanjiro gave like a peaceful death to after realizing that she surrendered. Yeah, think of it exactly like that, but for Licht here. Or should I say Patri here. As after getting cut down, we will see Patri, as right now the boy would be there watching everything, and he would be in shock. What is this place, he would say. At this, he felt so at peace here. Instead of feeling anger and resentment and pretty much all that stuff, he felt so peaceful. Like there was really nothing else to really fear at all. There was no responsibility on his back. There was no anger about what happened to them. Although he did feel, of course, a little bit upset about it. At the end of the day, here he was, being at peace. As this one suddenly, he would then feel a hand on his shoulder. Looking back, he will see none other than Licht, who was looking down at him with a smile on his face. At this, you'll see a very nice scene as we see not only Licht, but as well as the rest of the elves, including even Licht's wife along with them, as well as the very first Wizard King surprising Patri as he asked him straight up, why exactly is he so at peace right now? Why exactly was Licht not vengeful about the humans, about everything they'd done to him? And Licht would decide to tell Patri the whole story. He would explain to him exactly what happened, about the demon, exactly what it did, and how a very human actually saved him at the very last instance. And of course, hearing this, Patri would be in shock as he would actually begin to tear up a little bit. Heck, no, he would actually full on cry as he was sad, realizing just how much of a mistake that he actually made. But instead of being angry at him, of course, Licht being the very peaceful guy, he would instead actually just calmly end up hugging the boy, to which Patri would just be there, as the rest of his brethren would then rush over to him, as they can do nothing more, we actually just be there to support the guy as he ends up passing away peacefully with a smile on his face. And as we see this now ending, we will now fade to black as we turn to Asta, who currently right now was looking up at the night sky, as by this point it was nighttime. And right now he'll be bringing up one hand as a peace sign. At this, as he was doing so, he was currently making a miniature prayer to Patri, as he hopes that in the next life he was able to live a long and fulfilling life without him having to suffer any problems like this anymore. So at the end of this prayer being done, Asta will look up into the night sky before he decides to walk off. All the while, as he were to walk off though, this is when we then see it. At this, we will see the demon, as currently right now, we will see Siegfried as he was livid, to say the least. His plan, a plan that took him so many years to initiate, had been foiled by this one boy and his demon, who is completely unknown. He doesn't even know who that guy is. But he does know one thing. He was pissed off. It was okay though. It was okay. He waited so long for it, and he could wait again. Just so that way he can obliterate this kid and make sure that he remembers exactly what type of pain he caused him. As Zagreus is there staring down at Asta, he would then begin to head back, already making plans for the future as a way to take care of this boy and his little demon too. What exactly you guys think Zagreus has planned for Asta and Liebe? What exactly you guys think this would affect the story now that the elf reincarnation arc has come to an end and the elves didn't even get a chance to reincarnate? And overall, what do y'all think of this what is so far? It's your host Seiji Samurai, and he's ending off this part right now. Thank y'all so much for tuning into this what if, y'all. It's been pretty cool. I have to admit, it's been fun, y'all. But your boy is still got some things to do for today, so unfortunately he's gonna have to end it off right here. Still, I thank y'all so much for your support, as you guys have been amazing with it. Like I said, I'm trying hard to find a way to post much sooner, but like I said, I have a lot of stuff to do. So yeah, I'm still trying to find a way though. I'm still trying to find a way for sure. But besides all that, guys, thank y'all so much for your support. Really hope you guys enjoy yourselves. And either way, it's your host Seiji Samurai, and he's signing off. Peace, and have a lovely day.